You're listening to the RMTV podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the RMTV podcast in a brand new studio, lads. How we going? How we liking it?
Yeah, good, mate. Love the new digs.
Mate, love it. It's very nice.
Mate, got the Roosters frames up. It's looking smick, mate. And we got the Brad Fittler frame behind us. And of course, the RMTV neon sign. Guys,
What are the only downside is a lot of the memorabilia that's in here is sort of my age, so it's really making me feel like an old prick.
yeah.
I wasn't born for half of it, but I love it still. I know lots of it.
So how's the weekend, guys? Obviously, our Chookies did go down. The 1 week we tip them all, and they lose, but
Benny caught it. Benny said at the start of the week, we tipped them all.
Yeah. Look, I think... it's Otis. Everybody off camera, it's our little mascot, Otis.
you might hear him in the background. But
Yeah. No, I think that was a good shout. I hit up 3 games this weekend, which was... haven't done that in a while, so...
Tour de League, mate. Where'd you go?
Mini magic round, really,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah, no, with Luke, we hit up the Doggies game on Good Friday, which was just an absolute incredible experience.
The atmosphere was amazing at that game.
Tell me about that. I wish I went.
Oh, mate, we sat in the kennel. I was the only one. I was like, where's Wally? I had
Yeah.
a Chook's jersey in the kennel.
Mate, you're on every social. You're even on Critter's social on
I
his
saw
Instagram.
that.
Yeah.
But no, the atmosphere was amazing.
Biggest NRL regular season game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Since 2013, I think Roosters South, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was 65,000 odd, and I think there was about 62,000 Bulldogs fans there.
And one
There
Roosters-
wasn't many South fans there.
No, like
I didn't pick many up.
there was more. I reckon there was more South fans the week before when we played them than there was there on Friday.
Yeah, I think they knew the loss was coming. I did not expect it to be that much of a scoreline, though.
Yeah, look, I had heard a few whispers from your mate saying Souths might win. Josh, he said that.
Yeah.
And, but I thought, Doggy's looking good, and it will be a good test up at Suncorp next week for him.
Yeah,
so,
I really think. And like we'll jump into this later in the episode, but the way that the Broncos played against the Wars, I honestly I can't see anybody challenging the Doggies on current form, not until at least round 17 when they play the Panthers.
Yeah. All right, well let's dive into the round that was Manly Saints at Brookie. Now, Luke, you tipped Saints, mate.
I got that tip right. I had a feeling they would win.
As soon as I turned the telly on and watched it, I thought, why'd I tip Manly? They're looking off at the moment. Has this DCE news rattled them?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's taken a while for it to sink in up there, and they're not firing. Like, you're thinking like after a loss over in Perth, they're going to come firing out at Brookie. It's used to be the Fortress Brookvale, and they just I know last week I sort of laid in a bit to the Dragons saying that they're winning but they're not impressive, and I think that was still some of the same the other night, but they got home. Like, it was just, very uncharacteristically Manly.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess a standout for them, Lehigh Hopewade. Got 1 try assist, 278 run meters for Manly's best player. That's what I spotted. And for the Saints, I thought Tyrell Sloan, he was good.
Yeah.
Gutho putting a good hit out again, as he always does, but it'll be a good test for him when they're up against the Chooks. Obviously, we're coming off a loss.
I think Ruben Garrick, again, is he's thrown a good performance in there, throwing his hat in the ring for blue selection as well, I think. With the doubts over Lomax getting back in with his injury. They're throwing around Carraz, and there's a few other names being chucked around. I think Garrick might be another one that could be in the mix.
Carraz could be a smoky, mate. So we'll bounce to the Dogs game. So, first time ever in club history that the Dogs have ever kept an opposition team scoreless in back-to-back games.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's a stat I found. Couldn't believe that one. And the last time they were 6-0 to start the season was 1938. So we're talking World War II.
Yeah, they found it in 35. So it's a huge bit of history for the club going on at the moment.
And another stat I found: all 3 ex-Roosters players scored for the Doggies. Satilli, Preston, and Curran.
There you go.
So
We were then when Satilli got over the line, I'd just like to all the Whittlesons with my jersey. Thank us.
yeah, I've got a soft spot for Satilli. It's another one where
It's a bit of a workhorse.
What did you take out from the game, mate?
Oh, look, there's a lot in there, I think, and I wrote an article which I published on Substack the other day.
That was.
Yeah, about the Doggies, and like, it's great for the club. Like, it's not just for the club but for the fans as well, seeing what's happening. Like, they're just such a dominant performance at the moment, and like we're talking about how they're 6 in a row, but the most impressive part of it all has been that their points against average is 8.2. And, the highest that they've conceded was 24, and that was in round 2 against the Titans. And since then, it's all been single digits. And talking to the touchline boys who were sitting behind us in the kennel, like that's the thing that wins premierships is defence. It's, any clown can score a try, but keeping an opposition to single digits, and in the case for the Doggies the last 2 weeks to zip, that's huge.
You know who they reminded me of? Penrith in the early days, 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
I think we could see, I'm not saying anything just yet, but a little Doggies dynasty.
Yeah.
All my TikTok feed after that win was all these TikToks of the Dogs fans crying years ago when they were getting flogged, and now they're getting a bit of joy. So it's good
absolutely.
to see.
Like if you have a look, like 2 years ago, they got pumped at Acor, they got pumped 66-0
By
Nui. And 2 years before that, the same score again from Manly. Yeah. So it's been a massive turnaround. I think like in the last 8 years, they've made the finals once, and that was last year when they got bounced in the first round. But besides that, they've had 2 15 finishes, 1 wooden spoon. Like it's been pretty hard for the boys from Belmore for quite a long time. So it's good to see it turn around.
Well, boys, I love what's going on with the Doggies. Like from them walking out of the hotel with all their friends around them.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah,
Critter with the speaker. Max King played a great game. It was good to see him score his first try. The question I got for you is it too early to party in Belmore? I saw videos after the game, then Belmore jumping on cars, jumping on trucks.
They're going to party regardless, mate. Yeah. They're just the Doggies fans. They'll party every win. Every win they'll
like we're saying, it's been a long time between drinks for them. And this is, I was thinking about this on the drive down to the studio today. The family that was sitting in front of us, and there was that young girl, and she was up on she'd been a teenager, and she's up on her seat, and like she's dancing on her seat. Like it was an absolute festival. Like step aside Luke Combs or Taylor Swift. When the kennel's going off, that's probably the best ticket in town.
I love it.
And you could
behind
see
the chook pen.
Yeah, if it's fully stocked.
Yeah.
But like this girl, like it's amazing because she's one of like millions of footy fans, and this is why rugby league's the greatest game, because this is just a normal game, right? It wasn't a final, it wasn't a grand final, but that memory of that win is going to stick with her for the rest of her life. And like we've all had those, those moments. And
as a kid,
yeah. And like I remember 2014, I'd come down from Brisbane to go to the prelim, and when the Chooks got bounced by Souths. There's this young kid, he would have been probably 8 or 9 years old, and he's with his dad, and like just the excitement, just the pure excitement, like you can't beat that. And that was what was just everywhere at Acor on the weekend. So is it too early to be partying in Belmore? Like that's rugby league. Get amongst it.
Look,
like
it's rugby league, and it's good to see a good crowd for a bit of rugby league.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, my mate, he reckons if Bulldogs win the comp, they'll probably burn Belmore down. That's what he reckons. So.
New stadium.
Yeah. So we'll move.
Let's go back to when Cumberland burnt down back in the 80s.
No, mate. If Para win a comp, God knows what they'll do.
I think they won't know what hit them. I think they'll
be in.
They'll be in shock.
So the Finns in Melbourne. Now I was watching this one with a mate of mine who goes to Melbourne, and he left at half time down at the local. And as soon as he left, I said to him, mate, how much are Dolphins paying at half time? $5.60. I should have gone on it because Dolphins were the upset.
Yeah. Like last week, we all wrote them off.
Yeah. We just thought Melbourne.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Dolphins are looking good at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, and they exposed a big hole in Melbourne's, like 42 unanswered points against Melbourne. It's huge.
And Melbourne had some injuries before the game. Harry Grant got ruled out 4 to 6 weeks, I think it was.
Yeah, I think he's done a MCL.
Yeah, MCL. I think it was an MCL.
Yep.
Oh, no, hamstring, sorry.
Hamstring,
yeah.
You can tell Bellyache wasn't happy.
No.
Dropping an F-bomb in the presser.
Mate, they're taking on Souths next week, and I think it'd be very nervous if you were a chair or a door in the coach's box next week.
Yeah, I think they'll show up for ANZAC Day against Souths.
But within the Finns game though, that Ray Stone scoring a double, but that he's trying the 45th off Nicarima, that little flick inside flick pass. Holy shit, that was fantastic, wasn't it?
Oh, that was good. It was good from Stoney. I don't think he was too happy after the game. I don't know if you boys saw it, but I think in the dressing room, I think Lockyer for Nines come in.
Yeah,
he's trying to scout people for an interview, and he just got a towel wrapped around him in the shower, and he's just gone, oh fuck, here we go.
Yeah,
but.
Well, one player that stood out for me was Isaiah Katoa. Mate, he played
Impressive.
amazing. I reckon right now, this current season, alongside Cleary, he's probably one of the best halfbacks right now on the roster.
He's looking good.
Yeah.
Do you think, like you said, with Bulldogs, too early to celebrate, etc.? Do Dolphins make the 8? Will they make the 8 this year?
I'll come out and say it. Look, in our pre-season social media posts, and in the first episode, I'll put the Dolphins for making the wooden spoon. And, 2 big wins in a row, one against Panthers and then the next one against the Storm. Like, I think they can make the 8. I don't think they'll make the top 4, but if they're tracking the way they are now, I think they'll be playing finals footy.
It's really clicking now. I'll throw a quick question to you boys. There's one team, you might know this, there's one team the Dolphins have not beaten in their history. Do you know what team it is?
It's not hard.
They knocked off Melbourne and they got one more team they got to beat.
Broncos?
No. They beat Broncos.
No idea.
Doggies.
Oh, there
When
we
did they
go.
play Doggies?
I'm not sure, but it'll be a good matchup.
It'll be a good shout. Yeah.
So then Waz and Donkeys over in NZ, eh?
Yeah.
I didn't get to catch this one. Did you watch this one, lads?
Oh, I caught it up after the obviously we were at the Allianz when this was going down, but I think when I watched the game back, it was pretty much basic football, nothing too spectacular there. But just Walsh, I think, is still underperforming. Take that restart off the table. He's still he's struggling to control, struggling to interject himself into the game and make a statement. And
I think clubs at the moment have figured out how he plays. I reckon that clubs are knowing how to shut him down quite well.
Yeah, Billy Smith had his number last week.
Yeah, and then even the Warriors this week, they shut him down, and now obviously he's out for 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe this injury might be a blessing for him. He might come back.
Absolutely, yeah.
And, find some form. But, yeah, obviously Warriors just got the win from Metcalf.
We all tipped the Broncos, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we all tipped Melbourne, all tipped the Broncos. I think I got 2 from 8 this round.
Yeah, I'm in the hurt locker big time. Doing well in the AFL, though. But that doesn't count, does it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, Jordan's not here this week.
So Jordan quite colourfully gave us some comments to make on his behalf for the Roosters game. And as you know, Big Red is diehard Roosters fan. So we'll kick it off. I'll ask you boys, were the Roosters in the game at all? Or was the impact from the ref the defining factor in the bunker, the defining factor for the loss on the weekend?
It's a tough one. Like, there were some calls that didn't go our way, but at the end of it, the scoreline was like 40 to 18, I think?
40 to 12.
Yeah, so I don't think we would have won even if some calls went our way, but the score would have been a lot closer.
Yeah. I think we lost a little bit of energy once Nat Butcher went off.
Yeah.
I think it dropped a bit, and it's happened in a few games at Allianz where we've lost a big player early on.
in round 1.
And then our interchange just goes, because Spencer then came on early. Yeah. God bless Spencer, but he didn't have a good game.
Yeah.
I think he knocked it on 2 or 3 times against his old team.
So we're talking about Butcher. So let's have a look at this hip drop. So no penalty at the time on the field. Was play on and we lose the play for the entire game. Match review committee comes out and goes, yep, that's a hip chop, and you've got a 2-week suspension. Obviously, Trent Robinson's gone off his nana in his way, in his very diplomatic way, in the post-match press conference. What are we still? We've had the hip drop issue for about 3 or 4 years now, and we're still trying to figure out what it is. What is a hip drop? Now, the Roosters didn't get any benefit out of that. They didn't get a penalty. They didn't get a play sent 10 in the bin. The benefit goes for the 2 teams that are playing the Panthers next for 2 weeks. What sort of, in the element of sort of justice and the way the criminal justice system works, what sort of balance should we get back? What do you think about those?
I know it was a bit late, but do you reckon in the future they should sin bin him even when they look back at it?
Well, they've done that a few times. Yeah. Is it too technical now? Is there too much technology? I think maybe it should just come down to the ref on the field, what he sees. But yeah, now that Mitch Kenny's got 2 weeks for it and we got nothing out of it. And Yeah, and then when we talk about the obstruction as well with Edwards, that was another rough call.
Yeah, absolutely.
With Teddy, and you think, I saw a post. If it was any other day,
Yeah,
it would have
Fox.
been a penalty.
I didn't think it was a penalty try, but
It's definitely a professional foul.
Yeah,
And,
it
Because
should
we
be
didn't get a penalty,
no, we didn't.
which I was
we were going off.
mind boggling.
Yeah.
Even Sutton sent it up saying like it's either a penalty try or it's an it's a foul, professional foul. And then I think even he was blown away by it, that it just came back as the bunker saying, "Oh no, play on. It's a restart."
Yeah, but I mean, look, credit to Penrith. They were due for a win, and Cleary stepped up, and I think Isaiah Papali'i, he had a good game.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
He had his head wrapped up, and he got out there like a dog. And yeah, look, it is what it is. At least we got him once at the beginning of the year. So
yeah. I got a question for you boys as well, like because
Yeah.
we were all there at the game. I want to talk about the Bondi Shuffle that started with about 20 minutes to go. Is that disrespectful to the players, or is that just fans exercising their right to say, "Fuck this, I'm going home"?
I don't like it. And last year, I said to my mates that are Doggies fans, they experienced the same thing. Mate, you're going to go support the team in the good times, stay with them the whole game. Win, lose, or draw.
Yeah.
I know they want to beat the traffic. It was a big crowd, but it just makes the game look bad.
yeah. I think you're right there, Lukey. I think for some other people, they're probably, your Roosters fan, a bit of your Leaguey fan, or they're getting flogged, we'll go home, go to a pub, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. For us true fans, we'll stay to the end. That's us. But there's always going to be a few which will get home early.
It's not just exclusive to the Chooks. Like I remember going back a few years ago, I took my cousin to an event, Fat Emilio, and he's a diehard Broncos fan, and that was when Nat Butcher sidestepped Darius Boyd, and Darius he's just put his hand like that. So my cousin's left, and he left with 10 minutes to go, and in the space that he left the corporate box, by the time we got in the Uber, we scored another 2 tries. So it does have sometimes it's a bit funny.
Yeah. No, it's funny. It's funny you say this is quite left fieldy, but I'll mention the cricket. I don't know if you boys are big cricket fans, but my first ever Big Bash game I went to was Sixers versus Thunder. For any cricket heads out there, you remember this. Brett Lee was playing, so it was about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And we needed, I go for the Sixers, and it was probably like 36 runs within like 2 overs. People were leaving. Everyone was leaving, right? And then my mum left early to get the car. So my dad stayed back with my brother and I, and all of a sudden, Jordan Silk, 6. Last ball, I think it was like 4 to win, he hits the boundary.
Yeah.
And it went off. And it's like, if you leave early, you can miss those comeback moments.
Going back to when I was young, and we did the same thing, and we were leaving the SFS back then, and we were walking back to the car, and then we're on the eastern side, and by the time we were over to the western side, we're back in the game, and it was draw. By the time we were out the gate, I think Fittler slotted a field goal, and we took the win, and it's one of Dad's biggest regrets. He's like, "Oh, we should have stayed."
Yeah. All right, we'll move on now. So, Lukey, mate, Knights versus Sharks up at Nui. What'd you take out of that one?
Mate, it was a good game. I tipped the Sharks. I think it was Jordan and I. We both tipped them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they came out strong. 34-14. Samuel Stonestreet, the winger, 2 tries. He's played 6 matches this year, and 2 tries he scored in that match. So, he played pretty good. But I thought it was going to be a closer game, to be honest.
Yeah, same. I thought
you were there, mate.
I thought after the 2 losses that the Knights have had, they would have really stepped it up, especially being at home. But there's something going on there. It's.
Do you think AOB's job's under threat?
Yeah,
Is there whispers made on the hill at McDonald Jones?
I think there's a few whispers going around that he's got to be sweating it, but at the same time, Dylan Brown is part of AOB's plan. So I don't think the club's going to come out and go, "Look, we just committed 10 years and $13 million to one bloke based on a partnership of a coach, and then give the coach an ask before that play's even shown up." So I think
you never know though. Didn't Zach Lomax sign to play under Brad Arthur?
Yeah,
they flicked BA.
Yeah, that's true. But I think
bit different.
Bit different situation, because I think Brad Arthur's had, he had 12 years at Para with really not much to show for it. So AOB's sort of only just getting into the rhythm of building the team that he wants and starting to get those players. So I don't think his job's at risk at the moment, but I think if the Knights are in the same spot this time next year, then I think he'll be told to look
Dylan
elsewhere.
Brown's there next year, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. At the moment, there's a lot of talk about him coming early.
Yeah.
With obviously what's going on at Parramatta at the moment and all that.
With
Galvin and that. So we'll wait and see.
We will touch on Galvin as well.
But I want to touch on one thing though. Was Schiller's sin binning. Do you think that was warranted a sin bin?
I think it was. I know some people are going to say it wasn't or it didn't look like it, but I think it was.
Yeah, see, I'm going to disagree with you because I think we've gotten so wrapped up in the interpretation of moderate force, but we're missing out on the element of intent. And I don't think Schiller had the intent to do a foul play. Like, he wasn't trying to he was trying to effect a tackle. He wasn't trying to, I'm going to whack this fucker in the head and make him knock on. Yeah. He was trying to, like, how else is he supposed to get his arm in that position around the other side? Otherwise, he's going to get done for a shoulder.
1%ers now.
Yeah.
Let's just say.
Yeah.
We'll bounce back to the game before that one, up at the Goldie. Yeah. Titans Raiders. I called this one at work, and the Titans, they started strong. They were looking hot, and I thought, here we go. They don't have a field day here. And then I think it was just
16-0 to
it was
start.
tit for tat. Yeah. They scored, then Canberra scored.
Raiders home game by the sounds of it.
Yeah. Mate, towards the end, the Viking clap, and Simon wasn't even there. The drummer.
coming through Fox, just every time the Raiders put points on, it was like it was at Breeze Stadium.
It seems like I haven't been up to Seabus before, but it seems quite echoey. Like
it is, the way the stadium.
Your drum would do wonders.
It's like it's another combank, similar that sort of way that they're structured, but it's a beautifully.
One of the best stadiums I've been to,
Yeah, I found Hudson Young, he stood out for me.
Oh, yeah.
If he's not in Origin, I don't know what's going on. He got, I think, I saw a stat, he got back-to-back tries.
3 games in a row.
Yeah, 3 games in a row, which is quite impressive.
First time since Beaver, I think.
So, yeah, he stood out for me. And, good to see Ricky on the sideline, mate.
Yeah,
they score. His heart goes through the roof, that bloke. But, I think... I think Canberra held on and they just got the
I'm enjoying watching Tom Starling play this year. Yeah, he's having one of his best seasons so far.
Savage and Strange together. Yeah. I think just having
their backs are firing off.
Everybody at Canberra just seems like they're enjoying playing football. And it's paying off for them. So
credit to Canberra and Corey Horsburgh. He's been good. He might be in your team.
Yeah, we need the passionate, fiery redhead.
So I think he was in the squad last year.
Yeah, he had a run last year.
Yeah, that's right. But I think, as Ricky said in Vegas, you'd be done for putting us last. They'll be on the verge of the 8. So
I think they'll be in the... I reckon if they make the 4, that's a good shout. I think they're sitting at 3rd at the moment.
Yeah.
But they're definitely playing finals this year, I think.
Well, we spoke before about Bulldogs, like their next loss, like competitive game. I reckon it's going to be in 3 weeks' time, boys, against Canberra.
Yeah. Where's the game
in
at?
Canberra on 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon.
Ooh, I like that.
So I think that's going to be
that'll be huge. That's going to be a huge game.
I think that's going to be their first loss because Canberra are looking good and at home they're strong. Yeah. So it'll be good to see how they go.
No, good shout.
All right, now let's move on to story of the week. It was, mate, in every paper, on every telly, Lachlan Galvin. The news he's leaving the Tigers, mate. That was a bombshell. What do we have to say about that?
Oh, it's, at least it's pushed Spencer off the front page or the back page, so to speak.
I got him off real quick.
Yeah,
say that.
Yeah, but I think Buzz Rothfield on his potty with Andrew Webster really touched well into it about the urgent need for reform within the player-manager space. The RLPA has come out and said they're going to look at taking managers away from coaches, which is where a lot of that conflict of interest comes from.
Yeah.
Where you'll have, like, for example, this one coach, say at a club that's on by the beach, he's managed by a player agent that's trying to push all these players through to his club because then he gets the commission. I think it's about 6% of the annual salary of the player goes to the agent. So, yeah, I think at the heart of it, it's football. What's happening is just football. It's not the first time this has happened.
Rugby league, mate.
Yeah, that's
so
it.
Proper.
But I think that it's brought up the issue, is there an issue with player agents? And I'm going to say that I don't think there is. I think there's an issue with one player agent.
Yes. Do we name that player agent?
Oh, I think probably for legal reasons we better not.
We won't. But, yeah.
But everybody at home knows who we're talking about.
What do you think, Lukey?
Now listen, I think him being dropped to New South Wales Cup was the right decision, but him being bullied by his own teammates.
Yeah.
Would you call it bullying?
You wouldn't see that at the Roosters.
Yeah.
That you would that all that stuff wouldn't slide at the Chooks.
Yeah,
I don't think.
Off and on the record, know that sort of stuff has happened at the Roosters in the past. I'm not saying it's happened within the last 12 years.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that it has happened there. And it's well known amongst some of the Rooster circles that sort of behaviour happened. But under Nick Politis and Trent Robinson, you know that sort of conduct isn't tolerated. It probably still happens. It probably happens at every single club. It's just that the players haven't been shown that lack of judgment and gone and made it public, which is what's happened in this case.
Social media, and it still slipped through the cracks. Obviously, Taruva's one. He took the photo of Galvin's bag.
Luai, I think, was the second one.
Yeah, Luai did the. I think that was. I didn't mind the Luai one. It was like team first, stand up.
Yeah, that wasn't sort of. And again, going back to dropping to New South Wales Cup, that was Coruscant and Luai's decision. Yeah. They went to Benji and said, "Hey, we're the captains of the team. This is going to be a problem for the team. This is what we should do." And Benji's listened to his locker room and worked with them, which I think you don't get to see that very often with coaches, and it shows, I think, a very good indication of the dynamic that's happening over at Leichhardt.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Like he played earlier today, and I think he got a try assist.
Yeah, he's still going to play well.
He's all right, but like the question is, like, is he going to play in the next 18 months back at first grade with his relationship with the players after them coming out saying that he's getting bullied?
I think once the dust settles, he'll play again. I think they're just going to give it a few weeks, and then he'll. You know what? If the Tigers, if they lose on Monday against Para, and then if they lose a few more games, I'll bring him back in. I think.
Yeah, I think so as well.
So, but yeah, I mean, look, Galvin. Obviously, he's leaving. He wants to be. He said he wants to be trained under someone else. I mean, he's under Benji Marshall.
Oh, did you see Benji's mic drop though at that press conference? Where
how'd you rate that presser?
I think that was 100% like pure Benji energy. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, he wasn't backing down from the journos. I was trying to throw everything at him.
Yeah, like if you have a look at Appy when he fronted it, he was very very bland, very sort of direct, not giving the journos anything. And then Benji turns around and makes it into a bit of a joke and throws it back onto the journos, which is fantastic. Of all people, Danny Wildler as well.
Yeah, I think if you're a journo out there, I think your headline would have been one of Jerome Luai's quotes, because he gave him a little bit, Luai. Obviously, I think he said, I'm paraphrasing it, but like we were good up until now. So it's like, ooh, there's the popcorn you need.
Yeah. Well, the real test for them will be when they take on Para.
I've tipped Para. It's on now as we are filming. So, yeah, I think Moses back. I reckon they might get the upset.
Yeah, I went Tigers, then I went Para, and then after the debacle and some of the annoying stuff I saw, it said, you know what, fuck Para, I'm going to go back to the Tigers.
Yeah, would you go?
I've stuck with the Tigers, but I have a feeling Para's going to do the upset. After all the talk in the media this week, I think it's going to be on the Tigers' minds.
Yeah. All right, now Jamal Fogarty. He's been linked to Manly, guys. What do we think of that?
I think where the Raiders are heading, and like we just mentioned, like everybody's enjoying playing their football there, and they've got a good shot at this year of doing something positive. I think he should probably go, look, I'm not going to entertain this until the end of the year, get the finals out of the way, and then if he does want to move on, then wait for the 1st of November to start talking. But otherwise, I think his place, he can really make a name for himself at Canberra. And if I was him, I'd stay there.
I think he's going to leave. Yeah. Now, I think this could be a case of what Jack Wyden did off to South. So I think maybe...
That worked out well, didn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see how they go this year, South. But I think Manly might throw him a big offer. He's on the Northern Beaches. He'll tour the Northern Beaches from Manly to Palm Beach. He'll see it all. And it could be a bit better than Canberra, right? So
mate, anything's better than...
If Manly can convince him to go and say, look, we'll give you the keys to the team, he might pack his bags up. That's what I think.
Well, I'll be honest, I love watching Canberra play, and...
You think he'll stay?
He's one of the best I love watching play for them. If Canberra let him go, that is going to be a big loss for them, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He is... If they are going to win a premiership, it's Jamal Fogarty that helps
100%.
Yeah.
And Canberra's a very loyal club too. They really do... if you give them something, they'll give. If you give them a mile, they'll give you 1,000. Back in return. Like they've
Very
backed.
loyal club.
Yeah, they've backed Ricky for 13 years, and he's really only produced something sort of once, and that was 2019. They backed Whiten, and Whiten sort of slapped them in the face after all of his off-field dramas and stuff like that. They still backed him. So yeah, it
was a bit of a shame that one. I know this is like old news now, but with Whiten, I thought he would have stayed for what, like you just said, all the off-field dramas, and then he obviously moved to Souths. It was a hard one for him. It was quite emotional, that one.
Yeah, and on a personal level as well, like Whiten's house down there was absolutely stunning. It was on an acreage, and it was like
you been there before, have you?
They put it up on Fox League. They
right, yeah.
when he put it on the market, because it went on the market before he came out and said that he's moving to Souths, and they're like, hang on a minute, why are you selling this absolute stunner of a property? Well, where are you heading? And it's obviously because he was getting ready to come back to Sydney.
Yeah, I guess if you know anyone in the property game, they can always give you a bit of hints.
That's it.
I heard rumours from a mate that Dylan Brown was looking at houses up at Newey, and then
he was doing that quite a while ago. I know where his house is, his new place is, and he's done well for himself. He's in a good part of Newcastle. His family's going to love it. Quick little 2-minute walk to the beaches, and
mate, 10 million, mate, can get you a few things up in Newey.
Not anymore, mate. Newey's changed. Newey's the big property boom up there.
God's country.
It is, mate. It's turning into it.
I've got to go up there more. We play up in a couple of weeks up there.
June.
Have to go visit Benny up there.
Couple of months.
We need more. We've only got 2 kebab stores up there, Luke. So we're gonna
open up the third.
We need an AC's franchise up there. So
yeah, mate.
Oh, mate, they'll love it up there.
Chain.
Yeah, like AC's. If you want to sponsor Luke to be a franchisee up in Newcastle, be much appreciated.
I'm always there. No, on that Fogarty thing, I saw that Seabolt came out the other day and said that don't want Galvin there. They won't sign Galvin. So, like, I see where you're coming from. They see potential in like Fogarty coming to them, but it's just up to Canberra. Honestly, like, if I was them, I'd fight to keep him there.
Yeah,
his kicking game is great. He's got one of the best kicking games, I reckon, on that NIL roster.
Yeah, he's good. He's good, mate.
Yeah, no, I think again, we're just sports fans, and we've got the luxury of not of commentating on the game, and it's not our livelihood. So obviously the players got to do what's best for them and what they think is best for their career and for their family. So wherever Fogarty ends up, I think it's going to be a win for that club. Personally, I hope he stays in Canberra. I think Canberra deserves that. Well, folks, it's officially Easter, which means we can talk about everybody's favourite part of rugby league, and that is State of Origin. Presto has decided to come out and wear...
Mate, the baby blue, mate.
Yeah. Where'd you get that? It looks like Best and Less. That's where you can get your New South Wales stuff, the cheapo stuff.
Mate, this is a beautiful jersey with beautiful history, mate. And all I got to say, we would have won 8 years in a row if
you had a good team.
Yeah, pretty much. But, yeah. No, but I don't know what to say, really.
If you had an immortal coaching you?
Yeah, if we had an immortal squad, but it's not like you flogged us every series.
No, it doesn't matter.
We only lost by 1 point here and there, and then obviously the joy came when Jared Hayne did the old... We broke the drought. Yeah, the drought.
I think the best sledge, though, was Mitch Pearce gobbing off to Jonathan Thurston and Thurston just turning around. Mate, that's 1 point for every week you had the trophy.
Yeah, no, the origin back in the day growing up as a kid was... It's why you love rugby league, mate.
It was.
The Galvin fight. So, and the fights before that, that's the one I remember. But
yeah, I remember Harrigan smashing on with Spike Garrell and stuff like that, and being a Queenslander going to school on the northern beaches was not a good experience, especially during Manly's powerhouse domination of the late 90s. It was positively shithouse experience. But, so we're going to jump in and have a quick chat about some of our predicted Origin lineups for this year, and then we'll wrap up with announcing the winner of our Easter basket raffle competition and who are the 2 lucky winners. So, Presto, you want to kick off with your team?
Yeah, of course, mate. 1 to 13.
I can do it quickly for you. He's picked Grub number 1 for the fullback for New South Wales, Grub number 2, Grub number 3.
All right. Well. All right. For Grubs, I'm gonna have to say it 13 times because I've got Queensland on me right here. So I've gone with Teddy. I've picked Teddy, a bit of Roosters bias, but if he keeps playing like the way he is, I'm gonna put him in my squad. I've gone Lomax, Latrell Mitchell, Stephen Crichton, Brian Toll, Luai, and this is a controversial one, lads. But I've gone Mitchell Moses over Cleary. I'm going to cop it, but I think you got to give a bit of respect to the ones that I think he won him that series last year.
Yeah,
Moses.
I think so too.
Give him game one. If he loses, bring in Cleary.
Yeah.
That's my view.
I back that. The only doubt that I have over Moses is probably just match fitness.
Yep, that's true.
But we are sitting in the middle of April. It's still another. Was it the end of May?
Yeah, about a month's time.
So there's a bit of time there for Moses, and obviously today it's his first run out. So we'll see how he goes.
And then I've gone Payne Haas, Reece Robson, Terrell May. I think he'll get a start if he keeps playing the way he is.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's earned a spot. He's put in the hard yards this year.
I think I've got May there, and then Crichton. He'll get his spot with Martin, Connor Watson, 14.
Absolutely.
Homole Olakawatu, Mitch Barnett, and then to finish off, Spencer Leniu, mate. You got to have that dog in your team, and he's going to get a nice reception up at Suncorp.
Oh, I think he will.
I'd love to be there for it.
Yeah, what's your Blues team?
Oh, my Blues team, I got pretty similar to yours. I got Teddy, Brian To'o on the wing, but on the other wing, due to Lomax possibly being out, I got Daniel Tupou.
Ooh,
Tupes, Mr. Reliable.
I'm not being biased, but he's had Origin experience.
Yeah,
I'd rather see him in I rate Carraz, but I just don't think I think give him another year or two until you pick him in that New South Wales team.
Do you think maybe Tupes is good for the high ball as well?
I think so. Yeah. I think his catches, he's good at the catching the ball. He's got good experience on the wing in New South Wales.
Yeah, he's always been solid. For
I know
Blues.
people I know people go against him, but
will maybe Laurie Daly think we're going to look towards the future and maybe pick someone like Carraz maybe and Tupou.
I'm going to ask you. Sorry, Luke, jump in. I'm going to ask you, Presto, a question here.
Yeah.
Laurie Daly as the new coach. What do you think of that? Because in my opinion, biased opinion of a Queenslander, picking Daly as the coach is like shitting your pants and changing your shirt.
Yeah, look, to me it's like it is what it is, right? It's Origin. Like if you can get the team fired up, then it's whatever. Like get him out there, see what they can do. And I think Laurie, he like I said earlier with the 8 years in a row, it was up against a tough Queensland squad every year, right? And we're only losing games by 1 to 12. I don't think there were too many blowouts. And look, if I've just gone blank on his name. If Laurie Daly gets the call up and wants to coach him, then I guess give him another crack. But look, if he loses this series and classic New South Wales, I might get another coach in.
Yeah.
So, but there was rumours in the before they picked him, the Johns brothers. But I think they'll stick to their media jobs.
Yeah. I think they don't need the stress. I think they're on a good wicket.
Nah.
Joey sitting in there saying that the Warriors are the bogey team for the Storm.
Yeah,
some of those pearls and just
doing his thing.
Matty John's just been jacked. Like he's fucking jacked, isn't he?
He's got the best job just with that radio, Matty John show. And I think Phil Gould got his name mixed in there, but his hands are tied up with the Doggies.
He's loving what he's doing at the Doggies, I think.
So back to your team. Sorry, mate.
So the wingers, as I said, Tol and Tupou. Centres, I know people are going to disagree, but I haven't put Latrell. And the reason why I haven't, he's only played one game at centre this year, and he hasn't really performed in my own eyes, in my honest opinion.
He did that on the weekend too, wasn't he? He was named in the halves.
And, mate, he was playing hooker more than the halves. Us, we were together, and every play, he was just playing hooker. He didn't want to run the ball, anything.
Bloody ball kid ran more metres than he did.
Yeah, Cody Walker's daughter. The ball kid, that's right.
Yeah, no, I think... Do you think with Latrell, do you think Bennett chopping and changing the squad a bit, is it going to come back to bite him?
Yeah, I think so. I think Blocker Roach said he doesn't really start to pay attention to a team's form until after up to round 6. We've hit that. We've gone over that threshold.
Mate, Blocker needs to pay attention to how to pronounce names because he's bloody hopeless. That's all I've got to say about
Blocker. Come on. He's the representative of the forwards out there, always pumping up the forwards. So he's allowed a few mulligans on the pronunciations.
That's it. But I'll put Tommy Turbo and Stephen Crichton in the centres. My halves are Luai and Cleary. I think they just form really well together. Yeah. I'd like to see Moses if he does get picked, but I feel like Luai and Cleary will kill in the halves.
It's the obvious one. Getting back to Tommy Trbojevic there, he's injured at the moment. Do you think he's going to be right for Origin? Or
I think he'll come back. I think he'll make it back.
I think it'll be risky.
I think it would be risky, yeah, but
Like it's a hammy that he's out with, and Origin, as we know, is the pace is
It's
1,000 times faster than just a normal game. So
yeah, it'd be tough. Like,
there's a lot of the Trebojevic families have a lot of talents. Having strong hammies is not one of them.
no, definitely not for Tommy. He's, the poor bloke, mate. He's.
Yeah.
I said his middle name should be injured because he's always injured, that guy.
But now I've put Mitch Barnett. I'd like to see him start off in the forwards this year.
Yep.
Reece Robson as hooker.
Mm-hmm.
Payne Haas, obviously, mate. Even against us last week, I know they lost to us, but he was their best player.
Oh,
on the
he
field.
was.
The
And
way
he had
runs,
another good shout over the weekend.
Every weekend,
Yeah.
he has a crack.
the way he runs that ball, that's like it gives me Sonny Bill vibes from 2013.
Yeah, he
It
does. Hey.
Just his footwork.
I love watching him play.
And he's fit. That's the thing. He's fit. He's a forward, but he can easily knock up 70 odd minutes.
The only way Payne Haas isn't making a blue squad is if he's injured.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah.
So
So the rest is pretty much similar to yours, Presto. Angus Crichton, Liam Martin, Isaiah Yo, Connor Watson at 14.
Yep.
I put Keon Kalamatangi,
yep.
Jake Trbojevic, which could be a bit controversial. People are saying he's not having a big year this year. He's a bit quiet.
He's,
But I think that's Manly altogether though.
Yeah.
Like they're just having it. I think if a team is flying high, then everybody notices how they're playing. I think Manly's a bit under the radar at the moment and a bit underwhelming, and he's getting overlooked a bit.
That's it. So I think he'll get picked. Like he said, he's played good for New
just
South
come down to
Wales.
loyalty.
Yeah.
And he's a loyal player and he's a hard worker.
Will he get captain though?
I don't think so.
I think he'll go to go.
Yeah, I think that
Has
as
to
well.
be. Then my 17 obviously is Spencer.
Yeah,
It's got to have him coming off the bench. He's always strong coming off that bench.
Yeah. What do you think of Jordan's lineup?
Man, I like it. I like Kawatu. I think he'll make it. But like my team, for example, I don't know where to put him. Like I see that Jordan's done a bit similar, but the only thing I'm a bit worried about is Jake Trbojevic, number 8, like starting off. Do you think he'd get that position?
Well, he only played 30 minutes last year in Origin in each of the
in the
Origin
first
matches.
game.
Yeah,
Would you put him like to start off?
You go, Benny.
I'd say he's best suited off the bench, especially in an Origin sort of, because then you can pull the gun on him. Like if if Queensland get up on top quite quickly, you can pull him out, sort of throw it off. Or if New South Wales are in a controlling position and that fatigue starts to fit come into the match, bring him out in like either the 30th or the 50th minute.
Yeah. I think I'll be devil's advocate here. I don't think we'll get picked, so I don't think we don't have to worry about that for Jordan.
Wow.
I don't think he'll be there. And the other one that stood out for Jordan's team, Bradman Best. Good. He played well last year. It's going to be a flip of the coin, him or Latrell or even Turbo. So
I think Best, despite the way that the Knights are playing at the moment, Best is still in really good form. He's very fit. And like we said last week, the Tigers figured him out and they did their homework. They figured him out and they shut him down. I think if he can sort of catch Queensland off guard, he's going to be a try-scoring machine there for the Blues.
He will be. All right, Benny, mate.
Yeah, I think mine are pretty much on the same line as you guys. Not that I care about who New South Wales picks. But yeah, I think on merit, I think Jacob Kiraz deserves a shot. There's quite a lot with Lomax potentially being out. I think there's a few, like we spoke about Ruben Garrick earlier as a potential as well. But I think Kiraz, in the last few years he's just been building up.
He has been, yeah.
And I know that like we're throwing the name around of the New South Wales Blues Dogs. And that's what's shaping up. You want to pick the informed players. And the informed players at the moment are coming from the Bulldogs. And they're working well. Like we were talking about the dominated eight in a row for Queensland. That was because all those boys have been playing together since they were about 5 years old. So, and that's, I think, part of that dynamic that made Queensland so successful back then. So going off on that same vein, I think picking a lot of the Doggies boys who are eligible, I think is a good shout for New South Wales.
Yeah, I like it that you went in next to Crichton, so
yeah, and I think
form could
I think those dynamics there, they don't have to spend hours bonding in camp. They just know where each other's, because that's those great, brilliant Origin moments. Is like where a player throws the ball and he's not even looking, and it just lands in his mate's hands, and off he goes. And that's instinct. And I think that comes with playing together. And, like we said, I think it comes from that combination at the Doggies.
Yeah, for sure. And, I think overall, Laurie Daly, he'll probably sprinkle one or two guys for the debut. So
yeah.
See how it plays
Yeah,
out, mate. You're good there, Luke, mate?
Yeah, mate.
Big weekend, brother.
Big weekend, mate.
Dusty weekend.
Bit Dustin Martin.
Mate, not banging that drum loud enough in the chook pen.
Yeah.
A couple complaints, eh?
Yeah, you got to keep banging it, mate. Oh, we'll go to Queensland now.
Oh, what a great team.
Now, where do I start? Like, I've got Walsh at fullback.
Well, that's silly.
Yeah, he's injured at the moment, so time will tell.
Even if he wasn't, I think that's a bit of a risky pick. I'd love to know why.
Oh, he was there last year. Yeah. Was he? He was there last
Yeah,
year.
he was there. Yeah, he was there and then Ponga came in as well.
Yeah, so I think he's going to stick
because
with him.
Remember when he got flattened by Sawali?
He did. That's right. Yep. It's coming back to me now. Sawali absolutely took his head off. I've gone Walsh. I think maybe I just have this thing where I think Billy Slater, it's like his little love child. Like, he's just going to put him there. It's like my fullback will be Reece Walsh.
Could be his love child. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. And I think, and then Ponga, I've put him at 14. I think they're going to play that role again with Ponga.
Yeah.
On the bench. So, yeah, I'll run through it. I've got Coates, Xavier Coates. Valentine Holmes, I think
he's solid, isn't he?
He's solid. He can kick well. And when Origin comes around, he knows how to turn it on. Gagai, I've gone Origin Gags.
Origin Gags is different for Newcastle Gags. I remember years ago, and it was when Newcastle hadn't won a game in 12 months.
Yeah.
Somebody up in the Hunter put up a sign saying, "Hey Gagai, just pretend you're playing for Queensland."
And then how did he go the next week? Did he?
No, he was crap next week. But he scored. I think that season he scored about 5 tries for Queensland and only 4 for the Knights for the entire year.
Yeah, there's that saying, Origin Gags.
It is
a true thing, but no, I think Gag, maybe an old head, he'll be in there. Hammer, God, he's playing well for the Dolphins at the moment.
Yeah,
I'll put him on the wing.
Yeah,
I think I think you can put him anywhere in the back line.
Yeah, he's a utility.
Fire.
Yeah.
Munster, DC in the halves. Then I've gone Cotter, Grant, Tino for feed up, Nanai, Carrigan, and then on the bench, like I said, Ponga, Jermaine Hopgood, Gilbert, and then the redhead.
The fiery redhead.
Yep. My question to you, if Grant's ruled out 4 to 6 weeks, who would you put to replace him if
Ben Hunt.
Ben Hunt,
yeah.
So Ben Hunt's not in my 17, but if Grant's gone, I think they'll put Ben Hunt in because I think what bit them in the bum last year was they had Benny on the bench and they had Ponga. Yeah. I think they needed an extra forward on that bench.
Yeah, they did. That's what got us in the end. I think we were just gassed. We were just just absolutely gassed by about the 60th minute.
You'll be gassed this year, mate. 3-0. I'm calling it right now. 3-0 Blues.
Right, yeah, mate.
All right, how's your Queensland
Well,
team?
this is Geordie's. And Geordie's lines up pretty much the same. He's got Ponga in the fullback with Walsh being injured. Yep. Coates, Holmes, Cobbo, the Hammer, Dearden. Dearden's having a good one. He's
I like it.
He's a workhorse. Really is.
Even Munster though.
Yeah. He's got DCE, Tino, Ben Hunt there in the hooker, Cotter, Sewer, Capewell, Carrigan, Reid Marnie for the injured Grant as well.
That's a
bit
good
of talk
smoky.
about Reedy at the moment.
He's got that dog in him.
Oh, he does. He's got. I think he would absolutely thrive in Origin. Like just being. They're saying he's the reincarnation of Ennis the Menace. And Reedy, I think, will just be that.
Imagine him.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, but imagine you've got Reid Marnie, Corey Horsburgh, and they're going up against Spencer and like Ola Kawadu. It's like.
Liam Martin as well. Liam Martin's got a bit of dog in him, and they'll go off. Yeah. So, AJ Brimson, Horsburgh with Collins being out. Otherwise, Lindsay Collins would have been a good shout. And then Kafusi.
I love that team.
I like it. We'll bounce to yours, Lukey, mate. Your beloved Queensland. Like you said, you're born in Queensland, allegedly.
Mate, I think they'll win 3-0. You're saying the Blues. I think Queensland will win 3-0 this year. Just too many injuries. Not too many, but the Blues, you're deciding. Put Cleary in, put Moses. I think Queensland will just come out strong.
Yeah.
Bang, bang, bang. But I put Kalen Ponga, obviously, because Reece Walsh is going to be out most likely. Xavier Coates, Valentine Holmes. I put the Hammer, and I put as the other winger Murray Talagi.
Well, why'd you go Murray? Just a question.
I feel like he fits it. He's played it before. He's played Origin before for Queensland, and he's played he's played pretty good for them. I think he'll come out strong this year, even though his performance in the NRL hasn't been the best so far this year. I think he'll suit it. I think he'll suit the Queensland team.
Origin does invoke a different sense in a player.
Yeah.
Like they may be playing a bit average in
Clubland,
but when they put on the state jersey, they just the atmosphere and the intensity of all that brings the best out of them.
Yeah, and like we said before, the form, like the Bulldogs boys all playing together, I feel like Queensland gonna pretty much stick to that as well. But
they could.
In the halves, I've obviously kept it the same. Munster and DCE. Pat Carrigan as hooker. I've put Reid Marnie. I feel like Reid Marnie will play 9 this year. Obviously, yeah, with Grant out, I think he's their best pick. He's played good for the Doggies.
I like it. I think he'll be.
Yeah.
The more you mention him, Reid, I'm thinking.
Yeah, he's been bubbling away for a few years. He's been in the he's gone into camp with them last year. I think he got called up a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
As well as a late inclusion to the camp as a potential run on. So he's nipping around. And the way the Dogs have been playing, I think he's played a big role in that, and I think he deserves a crack.
I think he's proved it. But for number 10, I put Corey Hosborough.
Yep.
I feel like he deserves it. He's just had a big year at Canberra. I feel like he deserves that starting spot.
He's had a big couple of years, hasn't he?
So I'd like to see him. I put Jaden Sewer in the second row. Tom Gilbert, Tino, Ben Hunt at 14.
So you're about to try and pronounce his last name.
Oh, mate, I won't try that. I put Beau Firma. I feel like Beau Firma will make the team.
That's a good one.
I feel like he'll make the bench this year. Jermaine Hopgood and Ruben Cotter.
Yeah, nice.
So a few similarities between ours and
and I think mine sort of line up the same. I've still picked Lindsay Collins. I think he'll be right to go into camp, and I think Queensland will be silly not to include him in the camp. Whether he goes out or runs on is a different story. But he was player of the series last year, I think, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think last year. And Lindsay, he Origin Lindsay, there's someone he scares me when he's
he scares me at the chooks. And Origin Lindsay's out jumping Tedesco for contesting the ball.
That was shocking.
Yeah. But I think with some of the late injury changes that's come out, I've put Reid Marnie on my interchange. Having Ben Hunt starting in there on the starting hooker. I think Hunt brings a bit of that maturity to the squad, and I think can get Queensland in the right position, and then obviously sub him out at the right moment and bring Marnie on for whatever reason. If it gets it becomes a young man's game. If Ben Hunt, being the elder statesman, can't handle that a little bit, Billy can bring out Reedy to get that dog back in the fight.
Yeah, for sure. I've seen here, mate. This is the inner journo in me. I'm gonna call you out on this. So last year they need a few big boys on the interchange. You put AJ Brimson there with Horsburgh and Tino, and then you've obviously got Marnie. Do you think it's a bit light?
No, I think it's right, mate. It's all about endurance.
You reckon?
Queensland are very versatile players. They dig deep north of the Tweed.
You don't think Spencer's just going to use AJ as just a little?
Well, Spencer's probably only going to be out there for about 5 minutes before he gets sent off. And they'll run ring. No, I don't want to badmouth Spencer. He does great for the Chooks,
he's good.
But I think fitness. I think size. You've got to get that balance between fitness and being muscle. I think Queensland struggled with that the last couple of years. So I think
having it right this year.
Yeah, I think having a fitter pack instead of a bulkier pack, I think might be the go for us.
And you've got Hammer at fullback. I don't mind that.
Yeah, I'm not doing that because of Walsh is injured. I'm dropping Walsh. I honestly don't think he is Origin quality. And to be honest, like I've said on the show before, I question whether he should be playing rugby league in first grade. He's just been outclassed every week by his opposition.
You're right. Yeah, he hasn't been.
Yeah. So he needs a bit of time to go and go, hang on, maybe it's not about putting on the eyeliner and doing fashion shoots. It's about playing football. Yeah. And then Ponga as well. Ponga hasn't been impressive at the Knights. I think where the Knights are at the moment, like last week when they were playing the Tigers, it was a full set of 6 inside the red zone in the last 2 minutes, and not once did Ponga touch the ball.
That's when he needs to stand up.
That's it. Yeah. And look, if he's struggling to do that in club level, I don't have the faith to back him to do that in Origin. Whereas Hammer, honestly, every game this year, and especially against the against the Storm and the Panthers, has just carved them up. He's in everything, and he's reliable too.
Fit, mate.
Yeah, and like that, there's that versatility, like you were saying before, Presto, where he can play anywhere in the back. So yeah, go in the Hammer.
Yeah, beautiful.
I like it.
All right.
Alright.
So that's our origin teams. Now we are going to reveal the winners for the Easter giveaway.
These two lovely baskets have been kindly donated by the Legal Problem Solver, our great friend Evelyn. So thank you very much, Ev, for all your support and helping the podcast get up and running.
The Legal Problem Solver is Sydney's newest firm. The team brings over 25 years of experience in probate, wills, estates, conveyancing, property and commercial law. To connect with the Legal Problem Solver, follow them on LinkedIn, Instagram and Facebook today.
All right, and the winners for the New South Wales team, Charlotte Henson. So we've obviously picked Charlotte's team here. She's gone Teddy, To'o, Best, Crichton, Karaz, Luai, Cleary, Haas, Robson, May, Crichton, Martin, Yeo, Watson, Olukawatu, Barnett, Kaloa Matangi, and Dylan Edwards.
Well done, Charlotte. Congratulations.
And for Queensland, the winner is Jacob Yagi. So his team was Reece Walsh at fullback, Xavier Coates, Valentine Holmes, Hammer, Talagi in the halves, DCE and Munster, Pat Carrigan, Harry Grant, Corey Hosborough, Jaden Suwa, Tom Gilbert, and Kurt Mann. On the bench, he's got Tino, Bo Firma, Ruben Cotter, and Jermaine Hopgood.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, guys, and you'll get those hampers real shortly.
You'll get a message from the boys through Instagram to arrange collection, and hopefully you enjoy that bag of goodies.
Yeah, and hopefully you're not sick of chocolate. And it's obviously Easter week, long weekend.
If you don't have diabetes, you sure as hell do now.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's dive into round 8 of the season. Broncos Bulldogs kick us off on Thursday night. What are we thinking, lads?
I think that's going to be the match of the round.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be. I don't think the Doggies are going to have an easy run. I think that the Bronx are going to put up a bit of a fight. They've had a couple of humiliating weeks, but I still think the Doggies will get up.
Yeah, I'm going to go Doggies 1-12. I think the form's just going to keep coming. Reece Walsh is out, but I think Broncos they will have a good crack, and it'll be a good crowd up at Suncorp. But yeah, I'm going to go the Dogs.
Is Ricky back? Jordan Ricky, he's playing this week for the Bronx?
Mate, it's a great question.
Yeah.
I wish I could tell you.
I honestly think Dogs 13 plus. I know Reece Walsh hasn't been playing his best footy, but he's still a massive loss to the team. I think they'll win comfortably.
Who do you think will be fullback for the Bronx, do you think?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I guess we'll find out Thursday
We'll find
night,
out.
eh?
Yeah, Teamsless Tuesdays.
And now, the regular season for me, the game of the year, obviously you've got your Souths, Roosters, but Roosters Dragons on ANZAC Day, mate.
What a shout.
Oh, mate, I cannot wait. I can't wait, mate. As Radley said after you won the grand final, beers and more beers, because it's going to be a good day. And I'm going Roosters. I'm going 13 plus. We're going to shake Saints. Saints, they've been getting some wins.
Yeah.
We're going to show up on ANZAC Day like last year.
I'd say Chookies 1-12.
Ooh, okay. Is he responsible, this guy? What do you think?
Roosters fans aren't going to be happy with me, but I think Dragons are going to do the upset.
Oh,
they've been
mate,
last couple games. They've been looking good. I'm tipping him. It's going to be a close game. ANZAC Day is always a close game, except for last year.
Yeah.
I feel like Dragons will be 1-12.
Full-time
Why? Score, I reckon 24-16.
Why?
Just
why
based on their
win?
performance.
Because you're not going to bang the drum loud enough, or
mate, I'll support
that,
the team.
That drummer needs to
wrong.
really step
I
up.
hope the team prove me wrong.
did you hear the drum much? Though?
No, I didn't hear it at all.
I didn't hear it much. Man.
Needs practice.
Yeah.
So out of sync.
I'm
Bit
just
rusty.
copying it. Here we go.
Nah, I mean, look, respect to you. Obviously, if Saints win, they win. But yeah, teams will turn up, and I love the day. Everything about it. It's
Question about the drum. Are you bringing it to our pre-drinking session before the game?
Mate.
Like, you're going to be carting it through the city?
Mate, I won't make it to the game if I do.
Yeah.
There's a guy that drives the drum to the interstate games and all that.
Yeah,
he
good
lives
old
in the
Graham.
stadium, Graham.
Yeah.
So credit to him for always helping out. But yeah, he'll be bringing it to Fox Studios and
We go from
Go
there.
from
Yeah, look, Anzac Day is always a big game.
Special one for you, mate.
Yeah. Look, it's also been ex-service. It's a good day out. I've done Anzac Day in quite a few cities thanks to my time in the Air Force, and nothing beats being back in Sydney and going to an Anzac Day clash against the Dragons. It's always like I think just at large, there was a comment that we were talking about off air a few weeks ago about what should we be playing footy on Anzac Day, and rugby league and sport in Australia is, it's in every bit of our culture.
It is culture.
And like in the military, whether it's in peacetime or war, there's always something of showing our servicemen and women playing a game of footy somewhere. The curtain raiser for Anzac Day is the ADF normally plays the police or the fire brigade as well. So, it's a great celebration to be out and about and celebrate this country, this great country of ours, and everybody that's served and fought for it. And getting around to the footy and just having a good one is part of that. So it's a great day for the country.
Yeah, great national day. It's a big one. Obviously, your dawn service.
Yeah, it's a long day.
It's a long day, but no, it's going to be a good day. All right, we'll move on now. Yeah. So we've got the Wars versus the Knights, and then obviously Storm Bunnies. 3 games on Anzac Day, so it's a big triple header.
Yeah, well, I think obviously the Wars, the way the Knights are playing at the moment, especially going over to Mount Smart, I'd be very impressed if the Knights pull this one off.
I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't see it happening either. I'm back in the Wars 13+. They're at home. And I think, it's a big thing. Everybody sort of forgets that in ANZAC, there's the N and the Z, which does mean New Zealand. So as a motive as it is for us over here, it is for them there too. So it'll be a big turnout at Mount Smart.
Yeah. I agree. I'm going to go Wars 13+.
I think they'll be too strong. Their crowd, I saw a video today of after the game, the crowd singing the team song.
Yeah. The atmosphere.
Mate, I love that atmosphere there.
Luke and I were talking about this the other day, about which fan base is one of the most electric fan bases, and I'm ranking the Doggies up there, just being around the kennel and being around the Touchline podcast boys on Friday, and obviously the Wars, just win or lose, it's just beautiful. The Kiwi culture is just amazing, and it's a great shout.
Yeah, 100%. Storm Bunnies, mate.
Oh, mate, I think the Bunnies are gonna absolutely cop it.
Yeah, after Storm lost, was it 2 Dragons earlier in the year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mate, the next week they came back and they just put 40.
Oh, they came back, 2 big wins.
Mate, I don't think it'll be a close game. I think they'll come out strong, and I hope so.
I think if the Storm concede any tries, those players won't go back to the sheds. They'll just grab their stuff and walk home.
Yeah,
Bellamy, 42 unanswered points against the Dolphins. I've never seen that against a Storm side, and Bellamy's facial expressions, as comic as they are, terrify the living shit out of me.
I need on KO just that, a button, just the Bellamy cam.
That's it.
I'll just watch Bellamy over the footy. Honestly, I need it.
Just go to a game and I remember when we played the Storm in Adelaide back in 2019.
Was that when we? Oh, yep.
Yeah, and we were looking right into his box. Our area was right next to his box, and we were all just tilting our heads looking into it, and he looked at you and you just immediately shit your pants. And you're yep, I'm not even playing for you and I'm scared. So
yeah, I think Storm. Let's go 56-4. I'll get one.
Who's the try scorer?
Jai Gray.
Speaking of Jai Gray, beautiful young man from Queensland. He's born in Liverpool but eligible to play for Queensland. Would you boys throw him in he's the leader of the Dally M at the moment. Would you throw him in the Queensland squad?
Maybe
a year or 2, I reckon.
Maybe not to play, but maybe just to get him around the squad.
Yeah, part of the camp. Yeah, because Walker did that a couple of years ago.
Maybe an 18th man, you're saying?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. And Luke, mate, who are you backing? Obviously, Storm. Is that the obvious?
Like we said the other day, I was saying to Benny in the kennel, if Bunnies lose, Roosters win, Australia's happy.
That's it, mate.
All right?
Cowboys Titans. What do you reckon?
Well, Cowboys are coming off the bye. They're playing at home. I think they'll win comfortably.
Yep.
Yeah, there'll be a big crowd as well. Obviously, Townsville's home to one of the largest army barracks in the country, Laverack, and then you've got the RAF base there as well.
That's right.
So it's going to be
and the Red Cow.
Yeah.
Great establishment.
Not allowed to go there.
So Gold Coast, they started off well last weekend, but I think Cowboys will be too good. They'll outplay them.
They had that in them, the Titans. Last year, they'd start a game well, and then the second half, they'd hit the snooze.
Yeah, that's right.
So I've got a quick question for you boys. You see the stress that a lot of head coaches are under.
Yeah.
And you see how many of them go grey and they go bald.
Yeah.
What is going on with Desi Hasler?
I haven't looked at his hair, but
mate,
is it grey?
It is the most luscious locks you could find. It's like he hasn't aged a bit.
Is it a wig?
I don't know, maybe.
A wig.
But yeah, how does you saw
well, I'll tell you,
what's his name? He used to coach the Dragons.
Paul Griffin?
No, yeah, he's.
I was going to call him Peter Griffin.
Peter Griffin.
I was trying to think of his name.
He went to Para and the Knights as well.
Mary.
Yeah,
Paul McGregor.
Paul McGregor.
He's got no hair.
Oh, yeah, Brad Arthur, no hair.
Yeah.
I was like, The stress.
Look, maybe I'll give you a bold call here, Lukey. If Cowboys start flogging Titans, they might go to Desi in the box, and he might just rip his wig off.
He could
Never
be.
know.
We'll find out.
might be
We'll find
revealed.
out.
That's right.
We'll find out. But
If anyone is watching as a Titans fan, can you find out if it's a wig?
mate, I don't think there's any. Are there any Titans fans out there?
Oh, there's a few. There's a couple. There's got to be a couple.
Yeah. Oh well, Lukey, mate. Penrith Manly at Combank.
Yeah, I think I'll be going to that game actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there as well.
We'll probably link up there.
Mm-hmm.
After Manly's loss to the Dragons, I think they'll be coming out strong.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll be another match of the round.
Yeah,
Penrith are back on their feet by the looks of it after last weekend. I think it'll be a close game, but just depends how Manly turn up on the night. If they don't turn up, I think Penrith will win comfortably.
I agree.
Yeah, I think even if Manly do turn up, I think Panthers are going to pump it home. I think
they'll just get the 13 plus, maybe like your 30 to 12 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I think this match will determine if Penrith are to make the 8 or not. You know how everyone was questioning it last week?
Oh,
I think after what I saw against Roosters, I think they'll get back in there.
they'll get back in. I think it might be a bumpy road, but they'll be there.
Yeah.
And Raiders Dolphins, lads, what are we thinking?
Oh, that's going to be good.
At Canberra.
Green
This will be a
machine.
good. I think this will be a good match of the round, actually.
Yeah. Hello, Peaches.
The Dogs are here.
The dogs here.
I think the Green Machine will look too good. Yeah, back in Canberra. They looked good on the Goldie yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as the year's been going, you can't tip it. I'll probably tip the Dolphins and the Raiders will win. If I tip the Raiders, the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I think Raiders are going to win. I think Dolphins had a big win. Might get ahead of themselves.
2 big wins. Yeah.
2 big wins. I'm going to go the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think Raiders 1-12.
Yep. And the last game, Tigers versus Cronulla. What are we thinking?
Sharks are looking good like this year. At the start of the year, many of us predicted them top 4. I still reckon they'll make the top 4.
Yeah, they smoked.
I'm not fully convinced on that yet.
Really?
Yeah. There's just something about, like, they barely won against Manly. They put a big score on the Knights the other day, but really the Knights aren't, I hate to say this, but the Knights aren't competition at the moment. See how Sharks go against the like some of the other teams like the Doggies.
Yeah,
this is
an
an Ima.
Yeah.
So I think they got up over Souths as well. Again, the Souths aren't really firing the best. So I think this will be a good market for see if the Sharks are the real deal because the Tigers are in somewhat form and they've got a lot of energy about them. So we'll see how that goes.
This one will be at Leichhardt.
Oh, that's going to be...
I'm having a guess.
Campbelltown.
Campbelltown. They've had many at Leichhardt. They've had a few at Campbelltown.
Yeah. But it will be a good crowd.
Speaking of crowds, where can you find us on game day, Luke?
Mate, we'll be same old Bay 35 at Allianz Stadium.
It's gonna be sell out.
I think
you got to get there early. Yeah, you got to get there early.
That's it. We're all together, so we'll be good. On the beers all day.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Responsibly, of course, Luke.
That's it.
And I think the sun's going to be at 23 degrees. It's going to be a perfect day for some rugby league.
Benny's birthday this week, so
it is.
Got to make the most of it.
I'm old.
Nah, not at all, mate.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, guys, thank you very much for tuning in to RMTV. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe. From all of us here, it's goodbye.